How's it going, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a quick pre-workout review on BZRK Black Magic, their crystal blue flavor. But this is a pre I've been using for about 3 weeks now, so I have a pretty good idea of what I like as well as what I don't like and things I'd change if I was in that position of power. I've used a lot of different pre-workouts, so I have a good idea and a good scope in comparison. But getting right into it, flavor and mixability. For flavor, I think it's pretty good. It's not great. I think it's more like a smooth flavor, which I guess I like those more potent flavors, but I get a pre isn't supposed to be like this tasty drink that you're supposed to love, but it is something you factor in there. So it's good, just not great. And then mixability with this, you're either going to want to use more water or like it says mix 1 scoop with 6 to 8 ounces of water. If you're doing that, you're going to have a nice clumpy meal. Basically, it's not even a drink at that point. It's a big scoop. I would recommend using like that closer to 10 to 12 ounces of water. Give that a shot. But yeah, it's important to make sure you're just kind of giving it a little shake as you go and as you sip on it. But next up, I'll go over the main 3 ingredients that I always like to cover. So L-Citrulline, beta-alanine, and then caffeine. So pump, tingles, and energy. And then I'll just kind of talk about some other ones. So starting off with L-Citrulline, says citrulline malate 2-to-1 ratio, 7,000 milligrams. For those of you who don't know that like 2-to-1 ratio malate trick, basically there's closer to actually 4,700 milligrams of L-Citrulline, and then the remaining 2,300 is actually just malic acid. So 4,700 L-Citrulline, it's good. It's just not great. Compared to most pre-workouts out there, I'd say they all fall under this for the most part, besides like those top, like over here, Gorilla Mode, that's something that I'm looking to try in the future. I know they stack their L-Citrulline. It's like a super heavy pump. But it's good. It's just not great. Usually you'll want to see things climbing closer like that 6,000 range, but they still do a good job. For beta-alanine, that 3,200, I think that's good. I really like the tingles. I guess it all depends on people, but I like it. It makes you just kind of feel like you're going crazy. So I give them a thumbs up for that. It's really good. And then for the caffeine anhydrous, so this is something I don't like. So you can see they have 350 milligrams of caffeine per scoop, but like when you look at the label, there's different caffeine sources. So from the ones like I know of off the top of my head, you have caffeine anhydrous, kola nut extract, and then like this coffee fruit extract down at the bottom. So a bunch of those, like it's hard to tell like what the exact like caffeine is and like whether it's like slow release or heavy hitting. But based on like how it feels, I'd say it's a more smooth pre-workout. I don't think it's all like caffeine anhydrous, like super upfront high hitting caffeine, because I haven't been getting crashes with it. So I'm guessing some of this is being weighed out by like a nice slow release, time release caffeine. Still a higher dose caffeine for sure though. And then a couple ingredients I just like to tag on there. So the glycer pump, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically like a water retention type ingredient. So it's just basically going to help your muscles retain more water, give you some like crazy pumps. And then the final one down here, huperzine A. I'm a big fan of that ingredient, but once again, don't like this part of their label because I have no idea of how much I'm getting, but I've noticed like I get some good focus out of this. So I'm guessing it's a decent amount with these couple focus ingredients down towards the bottom. And then for price, so I think it's a fair price, honestly. Like I don't think they really mess with it. It's right below the top of the line pre-workouts out there, which is exactly what it is. It's below the top of the line pre-workouts. So I think it's a fair price. Giving it like an overall score, I'd give it like, so for BAMP, that was my first pre-workout review by Bucked Up. I gave them a 7.8, I believe. I'm going to give this like a 7.5. I'm giving them a bit of a ding for their labeling. I just hate when companies do that. Like, you have a pretty good pre here for the most part, but I just like to know what I'm getting. And then, yeah, just kind of the flavor, I'll give them a little knock. But overall, I'd like to maybe get a little bit more like heavier caffeine to give like that higher punch up front, but still it's overall pretty good. I highly recommend it. I think you guys should all try it. It's definitely a good one to give a shot. Let me know what y'all think as well as what you'd like to see in the future, and please subscribe.